You're welcome back and still watching ABC in the morning live on ABC News GH. Like I said, we're streaming live on our YouTube channel. The channel is ABC News GH. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I entreat you to subscribe and turn on post notifications so that anytime we are live, you will be notified that ABC News GH is live. Today on our front story, we are looking at CHAS, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools. In recent days, they have been in the news for various reasons concerning the reopening of schools. And the recent update is that they are directing parents to supplement food supplies for the awards. So the Conference of Heads of Senior High Schools has issued a directive urging parents to supplement food supplies for the awards in senior high schools due to the ongoing feeding challenges. This call highlights the dire state of food provision in schools exacerbated by delayed government disbursements and uncertainties surrounding food suppliers' contracts. CHAS recently appealed for swift financial intervention to resolve the persistent shortages, and the association had previously requested the Ghana Education Service to extend the January 3, 2025 reopening date to allow schools to prepare adequately. However, the Ghana Education Service upheld the original schedule, stating that discussions were ongoing with the Ministry of Education to address the concerns. Primus Barrow, who is the National Secretary of CHAS, revealed that despite repeated assurances, financial shortfalls persist, leaving schools struggling to provide adequate meals. He emphasized that parents' contributions are now crucial to sustaining students during the challenging period. The food crisis has been compounded by apprehensions among suppliers about the security of their contracts under the new administration. Adding to the complexity of the issue is the absence of a substantive Minister of Education under the new government, leaving critical educational challenges unattended. The lack of leadership is fueling delays in addressing the financial and logistical bottlenecks, placing additional strain on schools and the education system as a whole. So these are some of the issues that have plagued the senior high school system as at the moment. And the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools have directed parents, or appealing to parents, to supplement food supplies for the awards as they come to school. Let's take a look at what CHAS is requesting for. CHAS says that to mitigate the impact of these shortages, they have advised parents to provide their children with additional food items like gari, shito, and sugar to supplement schools' provisions. The Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools, CHAS, has urged parents and guardians to assist with the feeding challenges in senior high schools. This is because, according to CHAS, there's not enough food to feed students as they have resumed school, and the situation is particularly dire in some regions. This is the issue that is prompting CHAS to tell parents to adapt to the food they give to their parents. Students will normally go to school with a chop box filled with some provisions, like we all call it for senior high schools. This time, CHAS is saying that add up to those provisions. Don't make it the usual that you would normally give your children, hoping that they will have enough at school. School will be able to provide them with the breakfast, the lunch, and the dinner. CHAS is saying that please and please again, give your children enough food so that they can be fed in school. This is an issue because CHAS has been calling for GES to not have reopened school at the time when GES reopened. That was last week, Monday. GES reopened school for Friday, for students to return to the classroom. CHAS, who are the heads, they oversee directly the children in school, said that because of various challenges the schools are faced with, especially with regards to financing. They would not be able to take care of the children adequately, and so they called for the senior high school for GES to hold on with the reopening. But GES said no, they were going to reopen the schools for the students to return to school. And this has necessitated CHAS asking parents to give their children food. Maybe some parents will be able to supplement the food for their wards. We can't be too sure about other parents and how this will bode for them. Because of this, we will be speaking with the Parent-Teacher Association so that we can understand how parents are also receiving this news. When the issue about the reopening of schools came up, we spoke with them. When Mrs. Irene Sam mentioned that it would be great if the government came back to the table and then had some discussions with the PTAs to see how far parents could also help with this system, because it seemed the free senior high school system had been faced with certain challenges, and it would be right that the government would speak to parents so that they could help them in any way possible, because no government should believe that parents can't take care of their children. Fast forward, this is the updates from the issue with CHAS. So let's go back. It's just right to go back to the Parent-Teacher Association. They are directly involved in the education of the awards. Mrs. Irene Sam, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my dear.
The last time we spoke with you, you mentioned that government should not think that parents cannot take care of their children in school. This was because of the issue about reopening. The latest update is that CHAS is asking parents to supplement food supplies for their wards. As parents, stakeholders in all of this, how do you receive this news about this update?
Thank you very much. A good morning to your viewers and audience as well. And let me say we are grateful for having us here this morning. And then I bring a special greeting from our national president to all of us, especially to our members. Now, the question is, why are we here now? Why is Charles making this appeal to parents? It's because government's commitment to the free senior high school policy has not been forthcoming. So for the first time, we are hearing Charles coming out publicly to appeal to parents. And these Charles members, they are people that we have been working with over the years. We work with them in the various schools because the heads of schools are our ex-official members in our executive committee. So we meet with them on issues concerning the welfare of our wards in our individual schools. And then we see how best we can come in. And we have proven to them over the years that we are collaborators and we are partners in education. For that matter, the largest stakeholder in education. So we have done a lot for our schools, all because we want to safeguard the welfare of our wards. We have gone into infrastructure and other stuff, even staff bungalows here and there, just to cushion their stay in the various schools. Now, this issue about feeding, we saw it coming gradually, and now here we are. We were anticipating that Charles, having a good relationship with us over the years, could have just sought the national leadership, at least consulted us on this regard as to what is the way forward. I quite remember that when school reopened on the 3rd of January, our national president directed all our members to go to our schools and then ascertain the issues there and see how best the PTAs can come together to support the kitchen, just to support the feeding before government subventions, is relayed to the schools. So we have done that as the first phase. So we are hoping that whatever issues that is there, parents will boldly consult us so that we together can find solutions to it. These are our children in the schools. They are our wards. Whatever that concerns them concerns us directly. So Charles couldn't have just gone back door and just consulted with us, and then we see how best we can sort these things out. But why are they now coming out publicly to appeal to parents? That's our issue now. They have been quiet for a long time. These issues have lingered on for 2 to 3 years, and they are now coming out to talk about this.
Mrs. Amu, don't you think that CHAS is also publicly consulting parents because they may want to draw the attention of the new government to the issues they are facing in their various schools?
Fine, I agree, but the issue is that they know that when you talk about PTAs, we are there. The leadership is there. The national, the regional, the zonal, we are there. So what prevents a child from consulting the leadership so that we can also meet with our members and then discuss this issue and see how best we can come in and help, rather than coming publicly to appeal to parents to go in and then help with food supplements here and there. You know, that's what that we are saying, because we have a good relationship with CHAS over the years. So this time shouldn't be an option. I mean, we should just have collaborated very well, and then things will have, gotten a smooth sail through than what we are now. It is good that they want the new government to know, but the issue is that when you have kept quiet, throughout the past government, and then nothing has been done, and then you expect that this new government that has taken over can do something for you right now, it is neither here nor there. So that's our position, that they could have done this earlier so that solutions could be solved.
Hello, Mrs. Sam. Hello.
Agitating. They are getting worried. They are being confused whether to go for their awards in their schools or not. It's not certain anymore. So what they are doing to us is not the best. So we are feeling that yes, they want to make their put their message across, but the way they are going about it, it shouldn't be it's not the right way for us. They should just talk to us that we know how to handle our members on this regard.
Mrs. Sam, you say that PTA has a good relationship with CHAS. However, you've just raised some concerns regarding the way they are going about things. Are you really sure that the leadership of PTA has a very good relationship with the leadership of CHAS as stakeholders that work hand in hand with to be able to advance the cause of your children and then give them a good education? This shouldn't have been a big issue. You could have even jointly had a press conference to address this challenge. Maybe there's something that we may not be privy to.
Yes, so you can make that part fine. But the issue here is that I'm saying that we are with the management in the various schools. We work with them in the schools at the school levels. So what prevented them from knowing that they have a national entity? And this issue concerns us, parents, and then our wards. So what prevented CHAS to just consult our national leadership? Now, this is the issue we have now. What do we do? How do you consult with your members? And then we find solutions to it. And they know our existence. You see, we don't have any issues with them. We don't know from their part whether they have something against us, but we have nothing against them, because all that we have done over the years is to collaborate with them and to enhance education in Ghana. And that's what we have been doing over these years.
Okay. Mr. Sam, after what happened yesterday, CHAS asking parents to supplement food supplies, has the leadership of PTA also engaged CHAS?
Yes. Leadership of PTA, we have not engaged with CHAS yet, because they have come out publicly directing their plea to parents when they know that they have a leadership that they could have consulted. But nonetheless, we are not forcing them. All that we are saying now here is that we have also put in some measures to secure the welfare of our wards in the schools where there are no food or whatever items there. We are seeing how the PTAs in the various schools can harness some resources and then see how they can cushion the kitchen for some time. And then also we have also appealed to individual parents to also go and augment the feeding aspects of their wards. For instance, giving them more of the gari, the shito and other stuff, and looking at the canteen system in our various schools. How are they? How can we even rely on them for now? That if the children have money to buy something at all on the compound, they can buy quality food to eat. For instance, benku and other stuff that they can also have to supplement whatever that you'll be giving in the various schools. So our doors have always been open to them, and we have always had a good relationship with them. So nothing prevents them from consulting us. Okay. But even though they have not done that, we have also put in measures just to help them, to support them.
There are some schools that obviously some affluent parents will be able to support, and then there are some schools that are not really, don't really have a very strong leg to stand on in terms of of help coming readily. What will the PTA be doing to ensure that if there's going to be any disbursement to the schools in our country, we can find some equity somewhere so that the less endowed schools will not be falling short, whilst those that are more endowed will rather be the ones who will enjoy so much?
So for our PTA system that we are running, we take into consideration some of these things. We know there are less endowed schools that need support from other areas. So that is where the region comes in. That is where the national entity comes in to support those schools and see how they can also stand on their feet on the interim before any kind of money is being released to those schools. So we on our front, we are trying to manage the situation for now and see what intervention measures the government will also put in place for us.
One of the issues that has been cropping up for years now, some of the suggestions is about the free senior high school system being scrapped. Some parents or some individuals believe that the system should be taken away because it's not helping. Others also are of the view that since it's hitting some challenges or it's facing some challenges, we should now allow parents to pay for at least feeding. So if your wards will go for day schooling, that should be free. If you want your ward to be in the boarding system, then you should be paying some money so that it can go towards feeding. As a PTA, what is your stance on that?
Yes, thank you. Now, all of us are aware that this free senior high school policy doesn't have a sustainable funding, because over the years we have experienced the shortfalls in the release of funds in terms of examination, in terms of feeding, as where we are now. So we as a council are also calling for a review. Now, this policy has been in the system for, let me say, 8 years now. And then as a human policy, it is bound to encounter some hiccups or challenges. It's a good policy that the government rolled out, very good one. But we are saying that the implementation has not been all that good, has not been all that smooth. Looking at the challenge that is coming out because you don't have funds that is sustainable to sustain the whole program. So we on our front are also advocating that the areas that there are challenges, like feeding, like the examination, like the uniform and other stuff, let's see if we are able to meet the government halfway, or what proposal can government also bring to the table for NCPTA, that this is what I can offer, this is what I can put in. Now, I would like parents to also come in like this. We are willing to meet government halfway or any way to make the policy stand. We don't want it to be scrapped off. We don't want it to just be off from the system. We want it to be enhanced. And then we can also assure you that before the elections, both the two major political parties invited us, and then they sought our input to how to go about their manifesto. And then we made this input about the free senior high school policy to be reviewed, looking at the challenge that we have also envisaged coming out of it. So we are pretty sure that there is a room for engagement, for broader stakeholder engagement, to see how best we can fine-tune the policy and make it sustainable. Do we have sustainable funds available? If we can find that one, but in that case, let parents also, we are willing to support, because that has been our vision or our mission as PTAs, to complement government's efforts. So wherever government can put on the table, we are willing to support to make the program sustainable and to make it quality. That is what we are also looking for.
Okay. Can you run us through some of the support you will be looking to give, or how, from your end, if you were to provide government with a structure of how you would want the system to go, since you say that you don't want the scrapping of the free senior high school, what would you want PTA to rather handle, and what would you want government to handle?
For instance, let's look at the issue about examination fees that government is paying for, both the internal and the external, which has not been forthcoming. Even recently, we just came out of WAEC, and then they have to withhold our awards result because of lack of funds. So if that one is taken by parents, fine. Look at the issue about uniform. When our wards are going to school, we provide uniform for them. Now, they have to wait for a year or two before they are given the normal or the actual school uniform that the school has to give to them. And that one takes a long time, about a year or two, because it is coming from government and it's going to delay. So if that one too, as they go, they don't go naked, sorry, they wear something before they go. So let's look at that option as well. And then if the feeding, if your child is in the boarding house and government said that, okay, I'm meeting you halfway. If the feeding is 2,000, okay, can we take 500 or can we take 1,000? These are proposals that we can all agree on. And let's see how best we can, because we are looking at it being enhanced and then being promoted so that we can see that we are enjoying the quality of the policy. So these are the kind of proposals that we can bring to the table, and then we have a real look at it and see how best we can come out with viable solutions to solve this kind of issues.
Okay. There's a new government that has been sworn in. Has the leadership of PTA engaged government yet?
Yes, we are yet to do that. We are ready and we are yet to meet the new government and then to put our issues on board and see how best we can have audience to discuss issues concerning education in Ghana.
Since we are speaking about food, can you as a PTA tell us how long it takes for the schools to receive food supplies, and if there are any elaborate processes the supply chain goes through before the schools receive the food?
Yes, the issue here has always been that they have a centralized point that they have to go for the food and then to the various schools. Now, what is happening now is that even the suppliers say the government is owing them, so they don't have money to even supply. And even if the supplies are being made, they need money to, transport the food items from that location to their various schools. And that money too has not been forthcoming. So sometimes it takes a long time. So maybe the kitchen will have maybe one bag of beans, one bag of rice, but before they can get access to maybe the other food items, it takes some time. Sometimes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month before some of these issues are resolved. So we are looking at a situation whereby the suppliers are giving their money, they can confidently supply. Or if we can also go back to the old system that we were running, whereby the monies are released to the heads of schools to see how they can manage the feeding too. That one too is another engagement that we can have. We can also engage in and see the way forward. So these are the options that we can provide for now.
Okay. Well, the students are in school now, and you mentioned that the leadership has asked the various regional leaderships to visit schools to see how things are going. Can you share with us and parents who are watching how their children are faring at the moment?
So for now, I can say that our children are fine, because now some of the schools, as we speak, didn't have any food at all, not even a bag of rice or a bag of maize or something. Some of them also have simply a bag of rice or gari, but they don't have oil, they don't have things to make, they don't have those kind of stuff just to make it. And then the issue here has also been the perishables. Even if they have the rice, what ingredients are they going to use to prepare the rice? They don't have that money, because most of the school heads have credited issues, things from the market that they have not paid for. So they are demand the money from them here and there. So they receive calls here and there about it. But as at now, I can say that things are not all that good. But we hope that things will improve in the next week that we are about to enter. And we have also advised our parents that this weekend they should try and bring in something for their children in the schools, just to beef up, and then give them some few money just to get something at the various canteens, and then see how they can sustain them. And then we also realize that some of the schools who are rationing the food, so they can't have it 3 times in a day, maybe breakfast or maybe lunch or supper once or something. So if the canteens are there and the awards have money, they can confidently go to the canteen and get some food to sustain them for now. But we hope that things will improve in the coming week that we are about to set in.
Well, Mrs. Sam, there's one of the things that I know about SHSs is that there are visiting periods, maybe once a month, twice a month. You're asking parents to go to school this weekend. Has anything changed where now schools are open every weekend for parents to be able to visit and supplement the food their wards have?
Please, it has not changed. That rule is still there, because we have to make interventions. and the intervention is immediate. They cannot wait for a month's time before we visit our wards. This one has become an intervention which is quite immediate. So that's why we are saying that for this weekend, the schools will allow our parents or all of us to go and then sort the issues about feeding with our wards.
Okay. We now that there's a new government and you are yet to meet them, if you did meet them, or if you do meet them and you have to tell them something, what are some of the things the previous government did that you would want them to continue, and also some of the things the previous government did that you would not want this government to do anymore?
Thank you very much. The first one is that the new government should have a listening ear. We are on the grass, we are on the grounds, and we know the issues that prevails in the various schools. So whatever that we put across, they should have a listening ear and listen to us and see how best we can consult together and then bring home a point. Now, the other issue too is that the new government should also look at a way whereby we can have constant engagement with the stakeholders, especially NCPTA, because we represent the parents and then our wards, in general. So let's have constant engagement with us, and then so that we can push education forward. And then we should look at teacher development. Our teachers are really struggling. Some of them are in school the whole year because we have large class size, a class about 60, and then you have classes from 1 to 10 or 11 or 12, and they have to teach throughout. So let's look at how we can also cushion our teachers because they are also going through a lot. And then let's also look at teaching and learning delivery in the various schools. How is it going? Now, I know that there is no science and data looking at the impact of the pre-senior high school policy yet in terms of the quality aspect of it. But we can say that the product that we are receiving, are they the true one that we expect? Are they really having teaching and learning going on smoothly in our various schools? Are they really assimilating issues or content that is being delivered to them in the various schools? Look at the conditions they find themselves in. Even some of them don't have desks to even sit on in the classroom for them to even learn. So all these issues, we have to look at it again. Okay. And then the previous government, what they did that we did not like, or which we shouldn't be encouraged, is that PTAs are an autonomous entity, and we are legally represented. Therefore, the Ministry of Education does not have any power authority to come and give guidelines to our association. They shouldn't influence us because they have no influence on us. We are on our own, and we are in to support them in whatever way possible. So this new government should take a cue from it and never to interfere in the issues of the NCPTA as a private entity.
Okay. Mr. Sam, you just said that you may not know how much the impact of the policy is on the students since there's no science and data. But isn't the WASSCE results, or aren't the WASSCE results anything to go by? Anytime the WASSCE results are released, we see how well the students have performed. The former president in his last State of the Nation address touted the policy, and especially speaking about the 2023 results as being some of the best results to have received. Isn't this, it doesn't just have any bearing on the policy?
My dear, it doesn't have any bearing. The issue is not about the results. Now, when a child completes SHS, and maybe let's say that child is doing home economics, and maybe food and nutrition aspect of it, whereby they have to do some food crafts or whatever. Now, can we say that when that child comes out of SHS, that child can establish herself or himself up in business and start work at that level? It's a no. The child needs to go for further education, further studies to improve upon her skills or his skills, because the system that we have in place here, they are not able to assimilate everything. They are not able to come out with the skills, the competencies that we expect them to have. So that's why we are saying that it is not about result. The result doesn't mean anything. The result doesn't mean anything. And we as a council, or where we are now, we don't look at them. So we look at the impact. If you hold a result of A1s, how are you impacting? Are you sure that content, you can translate it to practicality? Is that what you are saying? That is not what we are seeing. So it's a concern to us. When my child completes SHS with me, and then he can do simple additional whatever, simple, whatever, some kind of summation and whatever, I know that the system in the school didn't help that child. So it's not about the results. It's about how that content can be translated into practicality to make that individual useful to herself or himself and to the society that he or she belongs to.
We're grateful for your time. I will be looking forward to having another discussion with you, especially about the autonomous nature of PTA and the interferences, because the last time we spoke, you mentioned that now the ministry was interfering to the point that it was now becoming a parent association instead of a parent-teacher association. And in one of the releases we read some time ago, we saw that indeed you were referred to as the Parent Association. We would have conversations with you so that we can delve deeper into it and understand where this interference is coming from and how it is having a bearing on you, especially as you have mentioned that you are legally backed and indeed you are an autonomous entity. We are grateful for your time, Mrs. Sam.
I'll be very grateful, my dear. Thank you so much.
Mrs. Irene Sam is the PRO for the Parent Teacher Association. We've been having conversation with her about the awards in school following CHASIS, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High School. Their directive to parents to supplement the food supplies of the awards because there really isn't enough food in school. Mrs. Sam has indeed corroborated that there isn't much in the schools for the awards. The leadership of PTA is engaging the schools. They have visited the schools to see what is happening, and they are also calling on parents to this weekend visit the schools and give their children food. She, however, is not too happy. She says the leadership is not too happy with the way CHAS has gone about releasing this request to parents. She believes, or the PTA believes, that CHAS could have directly had any conversation with them instead of coming out publicly to speak about the matter. She raises various concerns about the free SHS policy and how things can be made better for the students and their parents, who are also stakeholders in their children's education. She also still maintains that parents are capable of taking care of their children. So if government will come to the table with parents so that they can strike a balance on how government can continue to facilitate the policy and how parents can give their needed support to the policy to make sure that it enhances the awards academic life in school, it will be the best. We'll be looking forward to more conversation with the Parent Teacher Association. At the moment, we'll be waiting to see how government will also be responding to these issues that CHAS is going through. But meanwhile, President John Dramani Mahama has announced plans to establish a planning committee for a National Education Review Conference, which aims to address challenges and reform Ghana's educational system. The proposed National Education Review Conference will examine the education sector from kindergarten through tertiary, including technical and vocational education. Speaking at the National Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana at Winneba in the Central Region, His Excellency Mahama noted that the conference will identify obstacles to quality education at each level and generate actionable recommendations to address them. Additionally, President Mahama emphasized the need for targeted interventions to ensure equitable and quality learning opportunities for all.
Education is the cornerstone of national progress. And to this end, as promised, while strengthening basic education, we will sustain and enhance the free SHS policy so that we gain the benefits that it is intended to bestow. We will address challenges such as overcrowding to ensure quality education at all levels. Our plans also include free tuition for first-year students entering public tertiary institutions, the completion of abandoned e-blocks, and investments to provide equitable learning opportunities nationwide and across the whole education value chain. These initiatives will empower our youth with the skills needed to excel in a rapidly changing world. We shall emphasize technical vocational education and training so that we can produce the skilled manpower that is needed for business and industry. I've I'm going to set up a planning committee to start working on the National Education Review Conference that I promised. This conference will review our educational system right from the kindergarten through the basic to secondary to tertiary to technical.
So we'll be also looking forward to this framework that the government can put together to look at education right from the kindergarten level through to the tertiary level. They say it will include technical and vocational education too. In hopes that all of these will address some of the shortfalls in the education system at the moment, so that the Wharton School will also be able to fully find expression in their education. But that's all for our front story today on ABC in the morning. We will take a break. When we are back, sports is up next.
Hello, paint lovers. Welcome to 2025. Tabby Paint is excited to kick off the year with Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint, where innovation meets sophistication. With a superior coverage, a radiant glow, and a durable stain-resistant finish, Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint transforms spaces effortlessly. Designed for beauty and longevity, Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint saves time with fewer coats, whilst delivering vibrant and easy-to-clean surface that stays flawless even in the busiest areas or under harsh weather conditions. With Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint, every coat is a promise of quality and excellence. Elevate your walls and inspire your spaces with Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint. Tabby Paint, the choice for your amazing spaces.
good morning. Welcome to the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumikisi, and let's dive into the world of sports. Now, the Vice President of the Ghana Athletics, Charles Osei Asibe, has issued a stern warning to President John Dramani Mahame's
doesn't
administration
necessarily have to be aggressive.
The next sports minister, Osei Asibe, stressed that the importance of selecting the right person for the role, noting that the appointment will be a crucial first step in revitalizing sports in the country. His comments follow the successful inauguration of the president at the Black Star Square.
You see bantering or fighting officials, engaging in unnecessary, argument. If you go back and you check the lives of the Osafomafos, the Paredus, the Senna Danswas, and the rest, even Elvis Afriankra, these were wonderful sports ministers, very calm, but they got things done. If this government makes a mistake and brings in anybody who would be seen to be overly loud, the person may not focus on delivering, and it will become an issue. We need somebody who is a manager, somebody who understands the terrain. Unfortunately, I cannot mention names. All the names you have mentioned are wonderful personalities, but you never know. The president may surprise all of us, but we need somebody who would work with federations. We need somebody who would work with all the stakeholders and deliver results.
Away from that now, Ghana's road to the 2026 World Cup kicks off in March as the Black Stars begin their qualification campaign. First up, they will face Chad and Madagascar in the opening round. In September, Ghana will play a crucial double-header against Chad and Mali before wrapping up the qualifying series with matches against Central African Republic and Comoros in October. Currently sitting second in Group 1 with 9 points, Ghana will be aiming to secure a spot in the next summer's global showpiece with a strong performance in these upcoming fixtures. Now, the Black Stars are determined to keep their World Cup dreams alive. Stay tuned because we will be giving you more updates on Ghana's journey to the 2026 World Cup. And now Sudan's head coach James Kwesi Appiah has shared his goal of winning the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. The Ghanaian coach led Sudan to qualification under difficult conditions as the team was forced to play all their home games abroad due to the ongoing civil war. Despite these challenges, they displayed remarkable resilience and determination, securing their spot in the tournament by surpassing Ghana, from whom they earned 4 points during the qualification.
Sure, we get a very good team before the AFCON. And as I've said, any competition that we go in, or any game that we're playing, we will make sure we go in all out, make sure we get a victory. I don't believe in the idea of taking part in a competition and then at the back of your mind you think, oh, you might go out in the first round. Or no. Once you're taking part, you aim for the cup. You don't aim at going in and coming out without nothing. Who knew that Ivory Coast will win this competition? They were almost out of the competition, but they came back to win the AFCON. So, and as I keep saying, football has come of age. And
well, that's how we wrap up for the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu. Tech Check is up next.
Hello, paint lovers! Welcome to 2025. Tabby Paint is excited to kick off the year with Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint, where innovation meets sophistication. With a superior coverage, a radiant glow, and a durable stain-resistant finish, Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint transforms spaces effortlessly. Designed for beauty and longevity, Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint saves time with fewer coats, whilst delivering vibrant and easy-to-clean surface that stays flawless even in the busiest areas or under harsh weather conditions. With Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint, every coat is a promise of quality and excellence. Elevate your walls and inspire your spaces with Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint. Tabby Paint, the choice for your amazing spaces. Hello, paint lovers! Welcome to 2025. Tabby Paint is excited to kick off the year with Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint, where innovation meets sophistication. With a superior coverage, a radiant glow, and a durable stain-resistant finish, Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint transforms spaces effortlessly. Designed for beauty and longevity, Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint saves time with fewer coats, whilst delivering vibrant and easy-to-clean surface that stays flawless even in the busiest areas or under harsh weather conditions. With Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint, every coat is a promise of quality and excellence. Elevate your walls and inspire your spaces with Tabby Semi-Gloss Paint. Tabby Paint, the choice for your amazing spaces.
Hi there, welcome to the Tech Trick segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Eric Chiriboat-Melo, and today we explore the latest and most exciting advancement in technology. We're focusing and setting our sight on the stars as we discuss the fascinating world of space technology. So space exploration, exploration and innovation aren't just about reaching small stages, about solving challenges, and here on Earth we do know that expanding our digital, scientific and industrial forensic and frontiers is quite very important. And so let's talk about it and get straight into it. So space technology has come a long way since the first moon landing in the 1969. So we start off with some of the satellites that the workshops of modern space technology have provided, and satellites have become quite an integral part to the wide range of industries, including telecommunications, weather forecasting, navigating, and even agriculture. For instance, satellites we do know has provided internet networks like SpaceX's Starlink and bringing high-speed broadband to remote and underserved regions, helping bridge the digital divide in the field of agriculture. Also, it also has brought about observation satellites and has allowed farmers to monitor crop health and manage weather resources and optimize crop yields with real-time data. Satellites also play a key role in climate change monitoring, providing vital information about deforestation, ice cap, ocean and temperatures, and more. And so specifically about space exploration, pushing the boundaries of knowledge is very important. And so beyond Earth, space exploration has captured the imagination of many, and we've recently seen milestones like NASA's Perseverance in rover landing on Mars and SpaceX successfully, and also have crewed missions to the International Space Stations. But space exploration isn't just about adventure. It also has some real-world applications that also drive innovations. But you have to take some robotics here. For example, the technologies developed for recover missions on the Moon and Mars have also led to advancement in robotic surgery and automation and AI fields that are increasingly finding applications here on Earth. So similarly, technologies have developed more space habitat to provide insights into creating more efficient and sustainable living environment, both for astronauts and for us at home. And so again, we'll tackle space tourism. Perhaps most of you do not know that space also is a way of tourism, or the next frontier. So now let's talk about something that was once considered science fiction, space tourism. Now companies like Blue Origin and Virgin Galactic are making space travel a reality for private citizens, offering sabbatical and flights that allow you to experience wetlands in the sea from some space. Now, these commercial ventures are not only pushing the boundaries of space technology, but also opening up the new frontier for tourism and creating more new market for the space travel and space-related experiences. Now, in this long term, this could also pave the way for more ambitious projects like lunar bases and, Mars colonization, and also working alongside national space agencies to make these dreams a reality. Now, to the big news, space technology is also playing a key role in tackling some of the world's most pressing challenges, particularly when it comes to sustainability and climate change. Again, satellites, we do know, is very instrumental in gathering data on global warming, deforestation, air pollution, and others. And so today, we're focusing majorly on this particular subject about space and the development of a nation. Moreover, the push to develop sustainable space mission is driving innovation in clean energy and technology. So just as you know, technology is evolving and there is more to be expected. But that's all time would allow for today here on TechTrick. Hope to catch you next time for another conversation about what's trending in the world of technology, in the world of TechTrick, and we'll be glad to bring to you. I hope that this information has served and has been of good service. I'm Eric Chinibuamelo, and do want to catch us again next time. The show continues shortly after this break.
Also, you're welcome back to ABC in the Morning live on ABC News GH. Like I said, when we started the show, we are streaming on our YouTube channel. It is ABC News GH. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe to our channel. You would love everything we bring you there. Up next is Business Fix. Welcome to Business Fix, and today we turn our focus to a critical issue that many Ghanaians dread: Dumsor, a term which is synonymous with power outages. Dumsor is a situation no one wants to encounter, yet many fear that it is making a return. Just a few days after President John Dramani Mahama assumed office, his government has been confronted with a serious energy crisis. The government urgently needs nearly $90 million to prevent a looming power shortage caused by insufficient fuel supplies for thermal plants, as reported by the Ghana Grid Company, GridCo. According to a GridCo report, the funds are necessary to procure liquid fuel like light crude oil to ensure thermal plants in Tema can continue operating and meet the rising electricity demand. This crisis arises from a deficit in generation capacity, which was exacerbated by a pagan exercise conducted by the West African Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO. The exercise temporarily halted the natural gas supply, affecting power generation. And to manage the impact of this fuel shortage and maintain grid stability, GridCo has outlined strategies. These include rescheduling planned maintenance, securing alternative fuels, and implementing load management measures. The report cautions that without immediate action, prolonged power outages could severely disrupt economic activities and public services. Many stakeholders have urged the government to act swiftly to secure the necessary funding and implement the recommended measures. So in response to the crisis, Chief of Staff Julius Deborah chaired an emergency meeting on January 8, 2025, only 2 days ago, with key energy sector stakeholders, including GridCo, WAPCO, VRA, GNPC, BOST, and other power generation companies. The meeting, which came just a day after President John Mahama's swearing in, led to the establishment of a 12-member committee. This committee has been tasked with developing both immediate and long-term solutions to stabilize the power supply and avert widespread outages, and will be chaired by John Abdullahi Jinapor, who is the Member of Parliament for Yape Kusogu. President Mahama has also suggested that privatizing the Electricity Company of Ghana, which we all know as ECG, may be part of the solution to address inefficiencies in the power distribution system. This suggestion has been welcomed by some experts. Others feel that this cannot be. Why should we privatize ECG? Well, President Mahama believes that bringing the private sector into the management of ECG could resolve long-standing issues such as operational inefficiencies, financial mismanagement, and inadequate service delivery. Following that, in a major development just yesterday afternoon, the West African Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO, has agreed to postpone its planned pipeline maintenance for 2 weeks, which will thereby avert an imminent power crisis. This decision followed those intense negotiations that was led by the technical committee that was established by Chief of Staff Julius Deborah. Let's take you to when WAPCO said that they will be halting or suspending some of these things. Let's take it.
Still working to get commitment, but there is a possibility of a slight deferral. It won't be the full month. but we're looking at up to potentially 2 weeks deferral in the start of the operation.
So are you trying to say that we can defer it from January 20th to say February?
I believe it would be 3rd February.
3rd February. It's okay.
We're continuing to work with our vendors today to see if we can make those commitments firm. But that is our target right now, is to look.
So this is WAPCO agreeing to suspend some planned management. Yesterday we had a conversation where we spoke with Joe Jackson, who is the CEO of Dalex Finance. He weighed in on the issue of Dumsor and said that, or on this issue of energy crisis, and said that we should not put the blame on the new government. According to him, the problem was inherited from the previous government. Let's take a listen to what he said, and then I'll bring you something next after that.
2 days after a new government has taken place, then obviously the problem cannot be with this government. It cannot be this government that is trying to sabotage its 24-hour economy. It has to be a problem that has been carried over, that has a potential of sabotaging the boost to the economy that the 24-hour economy promises to provide. I believe that it's unfortunate, but all of us Ghanaians are very intelligent, very knowledgeable, and we can see clearly that this cannot be a problem of a government that was inaugurated on Tuesday. So I'm hopeful that it will be solved soon, and that we'll be able to take off into a new regime that will provide more jobs.
Well, so that's Joe Jackson and what he thought about it. But the people that are most needed in this conversation is you, the Ghanaian, and how you feel this may impact you. So we went to the streets to speak with local business owners about the potential consequences there may be if Dumsor returns, and even if they have heard of all of this conversation about the looming power crisis. Here's what Ghanaians had to say.
When there is Dumsor, we can't print for people. Neither can we do one or two stuffs, and our money will be going. We, the owners of the shop, and if so, we can't pay. If you have rented a shop, we can't pay the shop and other stuff. So the Dumsor should be hold for us for some time. We beg them. Oh, the new government probably they can't really do anything that much because the company is not meant for Ghana. It's a private company, so it can't really be solved.
So will affect me seriously because I use electricity in whatever I do here. Without electricity, I cannot work. So you are making me scared because I haven't heard about Dumsor coming. But since you raised this topic, I have to do something about it. The government should do something seriously because without it, we cannot work. The second coming is always not nice. That's the truth. But I'm praying for him so that it will be nice.
Okay, so Dumsor coming back, no, it's gonna be a very tough one for we people who do use the electricity very much because we sell the machines here, we repair them. So bringing back Dumsor, it's gonna hurt us the work we do. So I'll urge the president now, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, to help fix the situation we have with electricity, because Dumsor coming back is gonna hurt. It's gonna worry a lot of people.
We need to strategize our daily activities because if my memory serves me right, during the erstwhile NDC government, that was around 2012 to 2016, we were given a timetable for us to manage our activities. So if that should be the case, then maybe we will get the timetable, we're able to strategize our daily activities around it. So I think timetable, but like I said earlier, I don't think Dumsor will revisit us again because they are saying that's an issue of just the procurement of gas.
Me say na ebe dia ebe hayen every say ye won't be paying. So they say, and this a brass soon say doom so some baby, dear. Nay, a best or my benefit say. A cabia or no one go to an ye found ye. Every say back where by no, ya won't empire. And this a cabio, Nasa says, home good. Now Mutia Nasa, a dear some give a bama. O my idea Mukano, Ombeja light in it, Mudia. Then it just say, no go to ya, Nayan Fina and Water, a dear Juma. If the phone say, tell her for day, say, doom so some baby moi. I've got go Casa Bibre.
A bad year behind, cause I bet me a fridge you are a dear Juma, so light in you ain't me Juma. And so, a somebody behind, but Mamma say or bow, obey it. You need that.
So those are Ghanaians and their response to this looming power crisis. However, President John Dramani Mahama has assured Ghanaians that his government is fully committed to resolving the energy crisis and preventing the return of doomsor. Speaking at the National Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission Ghana yesterday, the president acknowledged the serious challenges the country faces, particularly in the energy sector. He has urged Ghanaians to remain hopeful as his administration works tirelessly to find sustainable solutions to keep the lights on.
Normally, to forestall blackouts because of the loss of almost 2,000 megawatts of power, we have to make provision for fuel. And this is light crude oil, heavy fuel oil, and distillate fuel. Unfortunately, enough provision was not made for this eventuality. When the fuel arrives, it takes time to import it, 3 weeks to place an order and get it delivered. And when it arrives, you have to treat the fuel for another week and a half to make it ready for use in the generating plants. And so there's a threat of power outages. But my brothers and sisters, don't despair. Like I said, you elected us to solve the problems, not to put the blame on anybody else or to shoulder you with those problems. And so yesterday I called a meeting of all the stakeholders in the electricity value chain. And they have been sitting since yesterday to today to come out with innovative solutions so that we're able to keep the lights on. And so I can assure you, with some of the ideas they've come up with, we would make sure that your lights stay on and that we do not have doomsor, as you popularly call it.
So President John Dramani Mahama is assuring Ghanaians that he will make sure that the lights stay on, and I'm sure that this is something that brings relief to a lot of people. So as government takes urgent steps to address the energy crisis, all eyes obviously are going to be on the ongoing efforts to secure the funding and implement the measures to ensure the stability of our power supply. So we're hoping that doomsor does not become something that we see again. It will become indeed a thing of the past, so that Ghanaian business people and the entire population can continue to enjoy the light that stays on. So this is the conversation we brought to you here on Business Fix today. The issue of a looming power crisis. Ghanaians have also shared their thoughts. The president says that he will keep the lights on. Indeed, we will be looking forward to the lights being on. That's all for Business Fix today on ABC in the morning. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll start with our main discussion. You're welcome back. Still watching ABC in the Morning live on ABC News GH. On our main discussion today, we are looking at what yesterday set a lot of Ghanaians talking. President Mahama has released his first set of ministerial appointments or ministerial nominations. And he announced his first set of ministerial appointments with Dr. Atukeso Forson, John Jinapor, and Dr. Dominic Aine grabbing key positions. A statement issued by the presidency on January 9 said President Mahama has submitted the ministerial nominations to the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Bagben, by Article 78 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. These are the persons captured in that submission. Honorable Dr. Kaisel Atoba Forson, Minister for Finance Designate. Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor, Minister for Energy Designate. Honorable Dominic Akritinga Ayine, Attorney General and Minister for Justice Designate. So we'll bring you the profile of these three appointed ministers so that you will know whom and who they are. So this is Kaisel Atoba Forson, who is the Minister of Finance Designate, and he also is the MP for Ejumako Enyan Isiam constituency. He is a distinguished politician and financial expert in public finance, macroeconomics, fiscal policy, tax policy, and business management. Let's take you through his political journey. His political journey starts with his being an MP. He's been an MP for the Ejumako Enyan constituency since 2009. Since 2009. So he's been in Parliament since the year 2009 and served as Deputy Minister for Finance from 2013 to 2017 under President John Dramani Mahama. In the 8th Parliament, he was appointed as Minority Leader in January 2023. In January 2023. He is an Oxford-trained tax professional with a Master of Science degree in taxation from the University of Oxford in the UK and a Fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, Ghana. He also holds a PhD in finance and a Master of Science degree in economics from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST. Currently, he serves as the Majority Leader and Leader of Government Business in the 9th Parliament. Dr. Kaisel Atoba Forson has been representing the people of Ejumako Enyan Isiam constituency in the Central Region as their MP since the year 2009. And in January 2023, he assumed office as the Minority Leader for the NDC in Parliament. Prior to this assumption as Minority Leader, he was the ranking member of the Finance Committee of Parliament for 6 years. This is from the year 2009 to 2013. He was a member of the Finance Committee of Parliament and also served as the Vice Chair of the Committee on Foreign Affairs from 2009 to 2011. He served as Deputy Finance Minister of the Republic of Ghana from April 2013 to January 2017, where he oversaw budget preparation and implementation, medium-term expenditure framework, treasury and debt management, external resource mobilization, and tax policy and administration. As a Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Forson also served as a member of the Board of Directors of the Bank of Ghana and Ghana Cocoa Board, a member of Ghana's Economic Management Team, EMT, and Ghana's alternate governor to the International Monetary Fund, IMF. He was instrumental in negotiating the Ghana IMF Extended Credit Facility Program in 2015 and also championed the introduction of Ghana's Model Public Financial Management Act 2016, Act 921. So this is the person that has been nominated or appointed to be the Minister of Finance for John Dramani Mahama's second term as president. And if he goes through vetting process and the committee, the appointments committee is okay with him, he will become our Minister of Finance. That is the man, Honorable Dr. Cassel Ato-Forson. You may, for a while now, know him as the majority leader and as the man whom the honorable minority leader some time ago said, "Hey, Ato." The Honorable Afenyo Markin said, "Hey, Ato." He is the one whom President John Dramani Mahama has nominated as the finance minister. Honorable Dr. Cassel Ato-Forson, that is him. Let's move on to Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor, who has been nominated as part of President John Dramani Mahama's first set of ministerial nominations for the position of Minister for Energy. Currently, he is the Member of Parliament for the good people of the Yape Kusogo constituency. Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor is a distinguished politician and lawmaker with a wealth of experience and expertise in the energy sector. He holds a master's degree in development finance, postgraduate diploma in finance and financial law from the University of London, and an MSc in energy economics from GIMPA. Before entering politics, Honorable Jinapor worked in private legal practice and contributed to several legal firms. However, his professional focus soon shifted towards public service, where he gained a reputation for being a pragmatic and results-oriented individual in his political and professional engagements. He was first elected as a Member of Parliament for Yape Kusogo constituency in the Northern Region in 2012 and has since been re-elected in subsequent elections. He was appointed Deputy Minister of Energy under the John Mahama administration from 2013 to 2017, and as a legislator, he has been an ardent advocate on matters relating to the energy sector development and reforms, and has served as the ranking member on the Parliamentary Select Committee for Mines and Energy over the period. So his political journey starts with Yape Kusogo, where he became MP since 2012. In 2013, he was appointed Minister for Energy, which he served up until 2017 when the John Dramani Mahama government, Deputy Minister for Energy, beg your pardon, when the John Mahama government moved and paved way for the Nana Akufo-Addo government. And he has served as a ranking member of Parliament of the Parliamentary Committee on Mines and Energy. He has been nominated to become the Minister for Energy. Yesterday, he's one of the persons who trended on social media, especially on Twitter or the X platform, because many people said, wow, so his family is a family that will never get out of government if the duopoly is never broken, because his brother, Samuel Abu Jinapor, served as a Minister for Natural Resources and Lands under the Akufo-Addo administration, the just ended Akufo-Addo administration. Now that the John Mahama administration has started, he also gets the opportunity to serve in this administration. And many have said that it means that their family have really distinguished themselves as having nurtured some great minds. We look forward to what he too will do for this ministry, the Energy Ministry, a ministry which he served as a Deputy Minister for 4 years during the tenure between 2013 and 2017. And that is the Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapor, MP for the good people of Yape Kusogo. The final person who also has been nominated by President John Dramani Mahama is Honorable Dr. Dominic Ayine, whose nomination has been welcomed. I mean, if anything on social media is anything to go by, his nomination has really been welcomed. Many people believe that he really deserves this nomination and to occupy the position he's been nominated for. What has he been nominated for? What has Dr. Dominic Ayine been nominated for? He has been nominated for the position of Attorney General and Minister for Justice. Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayine. He's currently the MP for Bolgatanga East constituency. Let's run you through his portfolio. Let's run you through what Dr. Ayine has done so that you too will understand why many have lauded his nomination by President John Dramani Mahama. Dr. Ayine is a senior lawyer with 3 decades of experience in practice. He holds a Bachelor of Laws degree from the University of Ghana, Legon, the premier university, where he graduated with honors. Dr. Ayine furthered his legal education at the Ghana School of Law, earning a barrister at law certificate that qualified him to practice law in Ghana. His pursuit of academic excellence did not stop there. He obtained a Master's of Law, LLM, degree from the prestigious University of Michigan Law School in the United States, specializing in international economic law. He later earned a Doctor of Juridical Science degree from Stanford Law School, cementing his reputation as a legal scholar of global repute. His areas of expertise include international trade law, investment law, and constitutional law, subjects on which he has published extensively in peer-reviewed journals and academic texts. In addition to his academic pursuits, Dr. Ayine is the founder of Ayine and Feli Law Office, a leading law firm known for its focus on commercial and investment law. Dr. Dominic Ayine's political journey began in 2013 when he was elected as Member of Parliament for the people of Bolgatanga East constituency. And as a legislator himself, he distinguished himself as an articulate advocate for his constituents and exemplified himself as a defender of constitutional democracy. During his tenure, he has served on several parliamentary committees, including the Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs Committees. In 2017, Dr. Dominic Ayine was appointed Deputy Attorney General and Deputy Minister for Justice, a role in which he provided strategic guidance on legal policy and governance. His tenure was marked by his commitment to upholding the rule of law and promoting access to justice for all Ghanaians. These appointments await parliamentary vetting and approval, and many are excited about the first 3 ministerial nominations the president has made. But it has to go through parliamentary vetting and approval, which is a process that could shape the national discourse in the coming days. As the nation keenly observes the president's choices, questions abound regarding the priorities and direction of President John Dramani Mahama's second term. However, many have raised concerns about what they call very minute nominations, in that the president has not released the full list of his nominations. This is just 3 out of the 60 that he has promised to work with. He says his government will work with 60 ministers. So many had expected that he would have released full names at once, but just 3 have been released so far. Yesterday, Honorable Afenyo Markin, who is the MP for, who is the minority leader in Parliament, mentioned that they will not accept this, he calls it nominations. Tot. And as Ghanaians, we understand what we mean when somebody says something is tot. And said that it would have been better if the president had released the list in full, but at the moment this is just the few he has released. So Honorable Afenyo Markin, Minority Leader and MP for the Good People of the Futu constituency, says that the president should release a full list so that we'll have a complement and we'll better appreciate the people he wants to work with. But so far, just these three have been nominated. Honorable Ayine as Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Honorable John Jinapor as Energy Minister, and Honorable Keso Atuforcing as Finance Minister. We'll have some conversations so that we can better appreciate these nominations, so that you and I indeed can appreciate it. But if social media is anything to go by, this is something that has sparked a lot of conversations and interest in the social media conversation and debate. I will try and bring you some social media reactions. At the moment, I'm going through X or Twitter to tell you what many people have said about the nominations, what they have said. Many are really excited about Dr. Ayine's nomination. It seems Dr. Ayine has quite a huge fan base on social media, because his nomination has been one that many have been excited about. When it comes to Keso Atuforcing, many are expecting to see what he will do, because he said quite a few things about the finance sector and about the cocoa sector too, especially about the review of pricing. So we'll see how it also goes. And as for Honorable Jinapor, like I told you earlier, the conversation has largely been about him and his brother, how both of them are found on both sides of the political divide and seem to be in good standing, so much so that for every nomination from both sides, their names come up. So it means that they have really exemplified themselves. Let's have some conversation. Let's have some conversation on Zoom with Dr. Samuel Efie, a political scientist, and Dr. Dixon Adomaku Kisi, who is a former member of parliament for the Anya Soutum constituency. Doctors, thank you for joining us today on ABC in the Morning. We are grateful for your time.
Yeah, good morning.
Today,
good morning.
Yes, thank you for joining me. Today we discuss the political appointments, the ministerial appointments by the President John Dramani Mahama. Let me start with you, Dr. Dixon Adomaku Kisi, since these people who have been appointed are from Parliament. You recently were also in Parliament, so you worked with them for a while. How do you receive these nominations? 3 of your former colleagues have been nominated by the president to occupy such pivotal positions. How do you receive the nomination?
Well, let me take the opportunity and commend media houses, including ABC, for the good work you do.
Thank you.
I think certainly you cannot be discounted. The Fourth Estate is very relevant. With regards to the nomination, I think that we were really hoping that for a government that has been touting 24-hour economy, I was really expecting that President Dramani Mahama would be hitting the ground running. And I was really hoping that after waiting in exile for 8 years, he would have had his I's dotted and his T's crossed already. In fact, a few days ago, I was saying that if, he has the benefit of waiting for 8 years before his second tenure, and that he'll be very clear in his mind as to what he wants to do. But this miniature release, I think, for me, from a political administrative standpoint, I think is not acceptable.
Okay. The minority leader calls it a tot release. You call it a miniature release. And don't you think that because President John Dramani Mahama has to work with just 60 ministers, as he said he will be working with a lean government, he's just making sure that he's getting everything right. And by releasing them in these, like you said, miniature release, releasing them in installments, he will give Ghanaians the opportunity to better appreciate the ministers he nominates, and then the next comes, we appreciate that number, then we appreciate again. Or you won't give him the benefit of the doubt on that?
I'm of the opinion that once you state in your manifesto that you're looking at 60 or less ministers, that list of ministries or ministries that you'd combine should have been done at that time. I mean, we are the ones touting 24-hour economy, and I thought that 24-hour economy is about efficiency, and more so getting things done in a double, faster, quick manner. So this, to borrow Afenyo Markin his words, this tot approach is, and it doesn't help with the administration of the executive's work or the other governmental agencies, because I know Mr. Speaker in Parliament would have loved to have the appointment committee maybe prepare and start working, and they cannot go and vet just 3 people and then put their pens down and then start another. That really, I think, is very counterproductive.
Okay.
Now, with regards to the competence of the 3, I can almost say that over the past several years, these are people who are involved in their fields of work. Jinapor, I knew from time immemorial that he was preparing himself for this position, and he was very pivotal in the energy committee related issues. So I'm not surprised, neither am I surprised with Dr. Ayini, a very fantastic person. So their competence is known. But my key point here is that the father for all and the president now elect, or president now sworn in, should hit the ground running. So my expectations are lowered already. I had high expectations, but based on this approach, I'm worried for a party that proffered bigger, better, faster, efficient solutions. This is a shot to the foot for me, and I'm being a bit objective here. I'm not even being partisan, but I'm just being as a student of government administration. I'm not in support of this approach.
Okay.
I think that, and I hope that the next release will be, a huge one, where at least all the major ministries that he intends to work with, we should have that, plus the others. I mean, the regional ministries could have also come out. I mean, that's 16 names, and I don't think that the president should be struggling with 16 names, considering the number of people he's been working with the past 8 years in Agege, or shall I say, in exile. Yeah.
Dr. Dixon, you call it exile. I'll come back to you and then pick some more thoughts. But let me hear from Dr. Samuel Efiye too. Dr. Efiye, do you agree with Dr. Dixon's submission about this being underwhelming? Because he calls it a miniature form of appointment. The minority leader says it is a tot form of appointment. Would you give the president some benefit of the doubt about the way he has started with his appointment?
Yes, once again, good morning, and good morning to your cherished viewers, and good morning to Dr. Dixon. It's unfortunate that he could not go to Parliament again. I wish him luck next time, and I hope and pray that 2028 will go to Parliament. I agree to what Dr. Dixon is saying about the president coming out with these three nominated ministers for to be ministers, and it's one thing that we all have to look at in terms of, you see, I have been saying time and time that President Mahama is one of the presidents that the Fourth Republic has produced, that he has vast experience. And he has been a president, vice president, he has been in opposition for 8 years, and he just retired. So he knows in and out of government. And we believe that these three, we are expecting more than 10 or 15, because he knows everything. He knows our issues. He knows what is going on. And he has worked with some people that we believe that by now, the 16 ministers, maybe is already prepared, just that maybe it has not been released to the general public or to Parliament. So I will say that he has to hit the ground and also ensure that things are done faster, because time is not on his side. At the same time, we expect that he will avoid a lot of mistakes, because, as I've said, because of his experience in and out of government. So we don't expect much excuses. We don't expect much of complaints. We don't expect much of people that he may use, because the three ministers, the nominated ones, I think that Dr. Ayeni, you are talking about him, that description and everything. I'm one of his one, and I think that he's the best in that position to occupy. There's nothing wrong, because he's an experienced person. He has been in government before. He has been a deputy minister. And I think that here, loyalty also counts a lot, and commitment. Because whilst in opposition for 8 years, I think Dr. Ayeni has been one of the loyalists of the NDC, that is to President Mahama, and at the same time committed to the work of the NDC. And I think he deserves that position, and is more than qualified to be that. And I agree to that assertion. That. And you know, you were talking about the Minister for Energy, the one that I dated, and John Jinapor, and you were just comparing about Abu Jinapor in MPP, and then people are easy people.
Dr. Friye, we've lost you. We've lost your sound. Hello, Dr. Friye, can you hear us? Dr. Friye.
Hello.
Yes, we lost you when you were just talking about Honorable John Jinapor.
Yes, okay. I think it's okay now.
It is. We can hear you.
All right, okay. Yes, I was talking about Abu Jinapor, and I was saying that he also qualifies, and I think he has one of the outspoken MPs in the energy sector during the MPP government, that is the opposition. And he is one of those people that people rely a lot on information on the energy. And I think that he has performed well in the opposition as in terms of the energy sector. So for us, and he has also been a deputy minister before in that area. So we believe that he can also work well. But I will suggest that I will just give my humble suggestion that he has to stop complaining and do the work. And that is what might help him a lot. Because the old folks, if you're not careful, you might be giving out a lot of, and the MPP did that, the MPP here and there. And then I think that it will not help. You tell us the problem, you work on it. As the President Mahama said yesterday, that they were being elected to solve problems, but not to give us complaint. And also we talk about Dr. Atuforsen. Yes, he is also qualified. He has one of the outspoken minority leader in the country, in the Fourth Republic. And he has been, except that, you know, the ambulance case was trying to bring him down. But I think the court exonerated him, and that made to have this or to secure this opportunity to be the finance minister nominee. And I believe that he can work, and we are expecting, the business community is waiting for him. The taxes that we are all expecting, that I believe that we need an action. We need an action minister for finance, where he can make sure that the things that has been promised will be worked on as soon as practicable for our interests. So I think these guys are well qualified, and I believe that they can deliver on the promises of the NDC government if they are being given more responsibilities or opportunities.
But what does this nomination, these political and ministerial appointments, signal about President Mahama's governance priorities and policy direction?
I think that it just give an indication because of finance, because of money, because of issues about transactions. I was expecting that security would be one of the key issues in terms of interior, defense, and foreign ministry. And then I believe that because the local government will be one of them, because you sacked all the MMDCs, and so local government is part of the structure. The national government is there, the local government is a key. So I believe that the local government could have been added to the list, and also foreign affairs. We deal with a lot of countries' relations, and how do we handle all these ambassadors and commission and foreign transactions? These things need to be handled by a foreign minister. So foreign ministry, interior, defense, local government, and also I think the trade could also be an issue because of people expecting much from the business community, how to work things out for the 24-hour economy, taxes, because the business community are in an expectant mode, and I believe that they have to add up to the new list.
Okay, Dr. Fier, we lost the last part of it, but at least we got the crux of the matter of what you were saying. I'll go to Dr. Adomako and then come back to you for more submission. Dr. Adomako, you have been in Parliament before. Yesterday, the minority leader raised a concern about the way the nominations were presented to the public. He said that Parliament should have been the first to have received the list before the public saw it, or before it came into the public domain. To the layman who does not really understand how things work, especially about appointments or nominations, can you walk us through the processes the president should have gone through before the public received the nominations? Did the president in any way err in the way the communique came out?
Well, there are two sides of the story. The key thing is that Parliament, when it has received, goes to the attention of the Speaker through the clerk. And all of this will happen with no media engagement. And the only time that the Speaker of Parliament would announce to the House would be in the chamber, where he would address messages from the executive, or shall I say, messages from the president. And at every point we sit, the Speaker goes through a number of things. And one of the crucial ones is any message from presidency, especially with regards to a travel outside the country, or appointments, or as it is, nominations. And I think that, unfortunately, I cannot cite whether the breach occurred between the transit of that information to Parliament or transit within the Mahama administration. So it's a bit difficult to say. And let me add that the Speaker has not also come out to either attest to the fact that he's received, the list or not. And for that matter, I will hesitate to make a comment with regards to the timing. But be it as it may, these days with social media, a lot of processes can be affected or impacted. And I would hope that moving forward, the administration will ensure that information is communicated through the appropriate channels. I personally am not a big fan of some of these administrative letters that find themselves in the social media sphere. I think we need to be careful and make sure that we can authenticate these things, even as we speak. Granted, very reputable stations have affirmed, the list. So we are going with that. But really, in principle and in truthfulness, it will be based on what we hear from the Speaker, as in his address to Parliament, that we can really then say that, yes, this is a true and authenticated list from the presidency.
Okay. What happens if Speaker says that he has not received any nomination?
Well, then that will be quite unfortunate, and I don't anticipate to hear that. What may surprise us is that maybe the Speaker's list might be 20 names more so than the 3 that we have received.
Okay.
That might be a surprise to us, but I'm hoping rather to be surprised by a list longer than the 3.
The President has a 120-day social contract with the people of Ghana, in which he outlines an extensive number of things, 26, that he wants to achieve in his first 120 days. Among all of these things are the removal of some taxes and all. And we are already about 3 or 4 days into his presidency. He is still yet to do a full nomination list for them to go through the appointment committee, and then substantially be for the committee to be okay with them to start working. Do you think that President John Dramani Mahama will be able to achieve those things he's looking at achieving in 120 days by what is already happening?
That's why I said that I thought he would hit the ground running for a party that was touting efficiency, proactiveness, rapid delivery. So as it stands, I can only hold him to what his words are. The 120 days, that's literally 4 months, you understand? And I think you've put it succinctly that looking at the tot or miniature release, we might hit a snag because I was hoping that his second day of office, it would be sharp, very fast, so that the nominations can be attended to in good time. Then they can bring into the House a bill to then repeal, these taxes that for them seem to be a problem. But I must say that I'll be disappointed if he removes these taxes, given the current physical crisis we're in. And I mean, physical stability of this country's finances. So the most prudent thing, though he may have, said that he would want to remove them, where is he going to get the revenue? The alternative requires that he brings to Parliament the alternative revenue handlers, which will be a huge deal. So I will be disappointed, though he promised. I want him to disappoint me, and not remove them, because those I know are very important, and I believe they are tied to our arrangement with the IMF. So I want to be very hopeful, but very realistic in terms of what is doable and what can be achieved. We made a mistake before, I think, when we removed supposed nuisance taxes and then increased government expenditure. It worried us financially. So talking from a financial, knowledgeable standpoint and experience. You cannot have aspirations to do many things and not necessarily work on your revenue or your funds. So I think we need to hold him accountable, but it has to be a safe accounting. And I think that removal of those taxes will not be safe for Ghana, considering our current financial situations. I would rather have them maintain and then be bold and tell Ghanaians the truth that, listen, whilst you're out in opposition, you had a certain mentality. You thought X, Y, Z, but now that the numbers are facing you, in reality, is almost not necessary to remove and reintroduce it through a different door. And I think it's actually a joke to remove these taxes and then use your right hand to remove the taxes, and then use your left to bring different taxes to do the same thing. It is almost not necessary, and it will be called reinventing the wheel. So I believe that in as much as Ghanaians may not have been happy with these taxes, my first recommendation to President Mahama is that we are pleading with him that for generations' sake, and for the unborn Ghanaians, and for our children, and for all of us, we will prefer that, though in opposition he didn't like these taxes, now that he's governing, he needs to admit in truthfulness that these taxes are real to keep our lights on. These taxes are necessary to be able to do the infrastructural development that Ghana is lacking and in so much need. And I would take my hats off for President John Dramani Mahama if he's able to be truthful with Ghanaians that now that he's on the seat as the government, as the president, he can admit that these taxes are essential, are the main support for government to be able to do its business and be able to offset some of our indebtedness, which is huge. As we speak, a lot of our foreign debt, we've not even begun to repay them. So it is mind-boggling, and I would hope that Atuforsen can make a strong case to the president and say that, Mr. President, this path, though seeming to be youthful, those seeming to be nice, we must go back to the Ghanaian people and tell them the truth. That when we're campaigning, we said these things, but now that we are here, our eyes are clear. You need to and that, in fact, it will be preposterous to remove these taxes. These are my humble submissions.
Dr. Kisi, we spoke with a NEC member for the NDC, Wanda Kuta, some days ago, about 2 days ago, and he said in defense of the removal of these taxes that you don't need taxes to raise revenue, and says that if President Mahama is removing the taxes, he knows that he can work with that because he's not going to use so many people in his government. He has already said he's going to use just a few people for his government, 60 persons. So the small number of ministers he's going to work with should be able to take care of the taxes that he will be removing, and that is per the logic of Wanda, who is the a NEC member of the NDC. Does his
let me stop you in your tracks and just let you know that the quantum of monies paid to ministers and deputy ministers is not the bane or is not the reason why Ghana is in this debt. I rather think that it's the decision, the quality of decisions that were made that cost us. So I'm of the opinion that you can have 200 ministers and not cost the country as much. And you can have 60 ministers who do very bad decisions and cost the country a lot. So I'm rather of the opinion that it has been a misnomer. It has been a wrong impression that Ghanaians have that the human capital aspect, the number of ministers and their quote-unquote benefits or package are so huge that is what is costing this nation. If you're a media person, feel free, like I always say, look at the numbers. Use a ministry like communication. Check how much the minister was supposedly earning. You use that as a yardstick and multiply by 100 ministers, not even the deputy, but the 100 ministers. And then ask yourself that in a month, how much is this compared to Ghana's indebtedness? And I want to defray public opinion and tell the public that I'm of the opinion that it is rather the decision made by the ministers that matter, not so much the number of ministers. And if you can do very good decisions with fewer, fantastic. But you can also do very bad decisions with few ministers, and we need to watch that. We need to watch that. So I'm not necessarily one that subscribes to the fact that fewer ministers means less cost on the state. No, it's actually the reverse. It's a very reverse process. You understand? You need ministers to be efficient, and by being efficient, having the additional support makes them more efficient. You understand? So if I grow, you can have a company that you would grow, and you make more revenue by growing the company. When you shrink or sack people from a company, it doesn't necessarily mean that the company will grow. Not at all. Not at all. I've seen businesses where a new corporate CEO comes and he adds to the job population and grows the company much better, much stronger. So the argument that fewer staff members can grow a company is not necessarily truthful, and I think is a wrong impression we give Ghanaians. And I want to tell Ghanaians that we should look at the quality of the decisions of the ministers more so than the number of ministers.
So are you saying that the NPP ministers didn't make quality decisions and that cost the nation?
Invariably, where we are based on the election results, I mean, I think the verdict is out. But my point is that it is not the number of ministers that cost the nation, more so than the decisions. So if you have a minister who goes and signs a contract that costs the nation $2 billion, and then you have a minister who saves the nation $10 billion, even though he has many appointees, which one is better? I would rather have a minister with many appointees who saves the country $10 billion than just a single minister who doesn't have appropriate oversight mechanisms and costs the nation $10 billion. So I mean, this is what I want Ghanaians to think about: that do not focus on the number of ministers, but rather the decisions made by the ministers. Right. So here we are. Mahama may have 60 ministers, but their decisions may in totality cost the nation more than if he had 120 ministers. And I'm only being a very powerful member of the general population, and I'm telling Ghanaians that, listen, we've been looking at the thing wrongly. It is not the sheer number of ministers, but rather the decision, the quantum, the inappropriation, the misappropriations, you know. So measure the executive not by the number of appointees, but the ills of misappropriation, more so than the numbers. So I mean, from a corporate standpoint, I like to grow companies, and I would rather employ very skilled people to make the company produce the best, more so than to have a limited number of people who are not adept, who are not skilled, and then sink the company. So as I'm saying, in Business 101, you can have 10 employees giving you $2 billion, and you can have
2 employees and end up losing 2 billion. So which one do you prefer?
All right. Let me go back to Dr. Friye. Dr. Friye, the appointments committee will obviously be vetting these ministers that have been nominated. As a political scientist yourself, what are your expectations of the vetting process, and how do you think the process and how they go about it may shape public confidence in these appointees we have at the moment? Dr. Friye, we cannot hear you as your sound is muted. Okay, we can hear you now, sir.
I think the appointment of the appointment committee need to look at the problems or the issues at hand and office to solve problems than to create more problems. And that is what we need. Because if it comes to the energy, this energy debt that has been hanging on our neck for all this while, what are the things that the minister, and here, you see, as I said earlier, the current ministers that are coming, and that is President Mahama, they are not new. They have been there. They have been in government before. So I think their style of leadership will not be like some people or ministers who are new to their ministries. And I believe that we need a hand-on solutions to our problems. They should give us solutions. They should tell us how to solve these problems that we have on our neck. And that's what we are expecting. And I believe that the committee members should grill them on their strengths, capabilities, experience that they have to resolve these issues.
In the grilling of these appointees, how will the kind of vetting process they go through shape public confidence in these nominated ministers?
You know, that is what we need, quality questions. And if you ask good questions, if you ask questions that also help the one that is responding to give quality answers. Because what we realize is that the way sometimes we ask questions also made these ministers or these nominees to also respond in a way that they have been asked those questions. So I think that we expect the appointment committee to ask questions that can elicit more information that will let all of us have confidence in these nominees.
Right. We are grateful for your time, Dr. Friye and Dr. Dickson Adumaku-Kissi. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to more conversations with you. So Dr. Dickson Adumaku-Kissi is the former MP for the Anyaso Utum constituency, and Dr. Samuel Friye is a political scientist. Both of them joined us on this conversation about President John Dramani Mahama's first set of ministerial nominations. 3 people have been nominated for 3 very crucial ministries. Dr. Kayse Olatoforson, the MP for Ejuma Kwenyane, has been nominated for the Finance Ministry. Dr. Dominic Ayine, the MP for Bolgatanga East, has also been nominated as Attorney General and Minister for Justice. And finally, John Abdullahi Jinapor he is the MP for the people of Yape Kosogo, has been nominated for the Ministry of Energy. We look forward to the vetting of these 3 ministers to see how far they can also take the nation with their respective ministries. And at the moment, many are not too excited about the way the nominees has been released. Just 3 nominees in the first tranche, if we would say it like that. The minority leader, Honorable Afenyo-Markin, calls it a thought form of release. And Dr. Dickson also says that it is a miniature form of release. And he says that he's hoping that when the Speaker of Parliament announces it, he's hoping that he will be surprised, because hopefully it is more than just the 3 that we have seen in the public domain. Let's move to our next discussion on our main discussion for today. And we are looking at the forceful takeover of some state institutions after transition. we've basically, we'll call it a peaceful transition or transfer of power. This is a concept important to those of us who practice democratic governance, in which leadership of government peacefully hands over control to the newly elected leadership. And following all of our elections in 2024, we realized that there were some post-election violence and forceful seizure of some state properties. And this is becoming a worrying trend in our politics. It is not just contained to 2024 elections. We saw some happen in 2017, where a similar incident happened when followers or supporters of the NPP, upon the victory won by the NPP in following the 2016 election, turned to the street to cause some mayhem, seizing toll booth operators, some toilet facilities and state properties, and even cause some vandalism of these properties. Same for the NDC this time. And in 2017, we saw that some NDC loyalists lost their lives among other reported cases where political parties, stakeholders, and the general Ghanaian populace really condemned it. Fast forward 2024 elections, the worrisome trend continues to go on. And some will say that they are going on unattended too. Nobody is really speaking about these. To some extent, some political party leaders have even condoned it or have come to the defense of these acts, saying that the supporters or the followers are just guarding these institutions. But you ask, to what end? Recently, some NDC followers have been seen perpetuating some heinous acts by attacking government officials, district assemblies, locking up offices, and sacking chief directors from their posts. Yesterday, chaos erupted at the Baba Yara Stadium in the Ashanti region as a group of alleged supporters of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, stormed the facility, forcefully ejecting employees from their offices, unlocking the premises. In a viral video circulating online, you see a man clad in NDC colors wielding a rifle and escorting employees out of the stadium's offices. The unsettling footage has sparked widespread condemnation and raised concerns about security and the rule of law. Authorities have yet to release an official statement, and the police are expected to investigate this incident thoroughly. We will show you, as you see on your screens, the footage from the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Take a listen to the sound on the footage. Happened at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. This is one of the many that we have seen following the 2024 elections. The season of government institutions, locking up of offices and all. This is a very worrying occurrence. On Wednesday, a similar incident happened in Koforidua, where the office of the National Identification Authority was locked, leaving staff distressed. These are people working for the people of Ghana. They are working for government. Why then are we seeing some of these things? Party supporters, party fanatics and enthusiasts storming these places because their party is in government. Like I said, this is not new to the 2024 elections. We saw this happen in 2017. This has been happening, and really we are not seeing anybody take any concrete actions or decisive actions that should curtail some of the rampant disregard for the rule of law. If some decisions will be taken and these corporates will be locked up, we believe that these actions will reduce. This shouldn't be happening. Many are concerned about it. You see on your screens what happened at the National Insurance Authority's office in Koforidua. Why should this be happening? Why really should this be happening? Similarly, some supporters of the NDC also stormed the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority offices in Tema, demanding to take over, arguing that they deserve to work there now that their party is in power. Are people supposed to be working along party lines? Do you just get the opportunity to work in a government institution because you are a member of a party? Is that it? Is that what we should be looking at as a people? No, this shouldn't be happening. Similarly, a scuffle ensued between the police and NDC supporters in the Okaikwe Central constituency a few days ago too. As supporters of the NDC there, supporters of the NDC's parliamentary candidates in the Okaikwe Central, Baba Sadiq, were protesting against the declaration of the MP Patrick Yalboama as the winner of the 2024 parliamentary elections. The group, for the second time, were blocked. Second time in just 1 week, were blocked from the had blocked some streets in the constituency. This time on the Fadama Bombay stretch to demand a redeclaration of the NDC's candidate Baba Sadiq Abdallah as the MP. This is because this group were not satisfied that the NPP's candidate was declared MP for the constituency, and you can see visuals on your screens there. This is a cause for alarm. This is worrying. We do not want this to become something steady in our elections and in this democracy we are practicing, that anybody could just get onto the streets to set tires on fire in the streets, to have scuffles with the police, enter offices, lock up offices, sack workers from the offices. This should not be happening in this dispensation. But the Minority Caucus in Ghana's 9th Parliament has raised alarm over what it describes as a surge in violence, in thuggery, and intimidation following the recent elections. And at a press conference held on Thursday, January 9, at Parliament House in Accra, the Minority Caucus condemned the actions of individuals purported to be NDC affiliates, accusing the party's leadership of sponsoring these activities. The Deputy Minority Leader, Patricia Piaget, who addressed the Parliamentary Press Corps, cited numerous incidents of violence on the election day, including physical assaults on voters, attempts to disrupt the electoral process, and harassment of election officials. She highlighted specific cases such as alleged arson attacks on Electoral Commission offices in Damongo and Tepa, and the destruction of electoral materials in the Ayenswano District Electoral Office. We'll also show you some visuals from all of these. These are things that have raised questions, a cause for alarm, that we are hoping that it does not continue, that the law works, that the police arrest perpetrators and prosecutors prosecute them, because we see this as a blatant disregard for the laws of the country. In Ahafumim, some suspected members, some youth who are suspected to be members of the NDC also pulled guns and machetes on a toilet operator there following an attempt to seize the facility. So many facilities that some supporters feel they should seize because now their party is in power, has raised so many concerns, really so many concerns that many are unhappy about and believe that it shouldn't continue that way. We shouldn't continue to see some of these things we are seeing. It undermines our democracy. It undermines the peace that we are enjoying. And beg your pardon. And we can't do better than is already happening. And so we should expect better from us as Ghanaians. We should also expect better from our political parties. The political parties should call their supporters to order, to stop some of these things that are happening. And the police also should arrest those who blatantly disregard our laws. Why do you pull a gun and a machete on someone because you want to take over a facility? Is that something that we should be seeing? If these things are not attended to, I fear that one day it just will become, might become the norm. And we do not want that to continue. We do not want to continue to experience these in our country. These are some of the things that really bother us. And well, the president, John Dramani Mahama, has strongly condemned the reported incidents of government office takeovers and the alleged attacks on certain government officials by some NDC youth. He addressed a gathering of guests during the presidential dinner, which happened on 8th January, where he expressed concern over the recent developments and unfolding in the recent development that had been unfolding in some parts of the country, where agitated party youth had besieged government institutions to take over and loot storage warehouses containing government items. He called these incidents unfortunate and said that they do not reflect well on the NDC administration, as the party appears to be repeating similar actions carried out by the NPP when the NPP assumed power in 2017. So John Dramani Mahama, our president, emphasized how such events, among others, contributed to the opposition NPP's loss in the 2024 elections. And so he's calling that for the party members, the youth in the party, to desist from some of these actions, that it does not reflect well on the party. So the leader of the party himself is saying the youth should not continue with these actions. They cast some cloud upon the party and gives a very bad image of the party to the Ghanaian people. He has condemned this. So if the president himself is condemning this, party faithfuls, party persons, the young people in the party that are going around doing these things, the government, the president is calling you to stop this. The president is asking you to desist from these actions. Please listen to the leader of the nation and the leader of your party and desist from these actions. They do not reflect well on the party. They do not reflect well on the nation at all. These things, they will have dire implications on our nation if these continue to go on. If in 2028 the NPP wins, will we expect the NPP youth to also go on this rampage? No, we don't want that. So if we do not want that to happen, we need to condemn these actions now, and we need, please, to arrest the perpetrators. And we need these perpetrators to be prosecuted. These strong actions will cause them, if these actions happen, it will cause these persons to stop what they are doing. Like I said, the Deputy Minority Leader addressed the parliamentary press call, and in her address, she raised these concerns about the violence. Let's take a listen.
Not just those who support his party, the NDC, it is deeply disheartening that in the face of these troubling developments, the president has remained largely silent since taking office. While he had made a general call for calm as president-elect, this is not enough. The president must demonstrate leadership by condemning these acts unequivocally and directing law enforcement agencies to act decisively. The events surrounding the Economic and Organized Crime Office, NEOCO, where a statue was vandalized on the day of the president's inauguration, remain unresolved. The incidents in Koforidua, Tema, and other parts of the country highlight a pattern of inactions and silence from the highest office of the land. This inaction emboldens lawlessness and sends a troubling message to Ghanaians. These are just a few of many incidents of thuggery and violence occurring across the country. Even before President John Dramani Mahama officially took the oath of office, he set a dangerous tone for governance by establishing the so-called Operative Recover or Lose Oral Committee. This committee, purportedly tasked with reclaiming assets allegedly stolen by members of the previous government, has no legal or constitutional foundation. Not just those who support his party, the NDC, it is deeply disheartening that in the face of these troubling developments, the president has remained largely silent since taking office. While he had made a general call for calm as president-elect, this is not enough. The president must demonstrate leadership by condemning these acts unequivocally and directing law enforcement agencies to act.
So that's the Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Patricia Appiah-Gyei, on these happenings since the elections in 2014. In 2024, like I said, this is not so peculiar to the just ended elections. We saw this happen also in its own format or in its own way following the 2016 elections. And in 2017, we saw some irate youth going about attacking certain institutions. So this is something that has persisted. It happened 2016, 17. It's happening now 2024, 2025. Are we waiting for 2028 for it to happen again? No, we do not want that to happen. So we need to address the issue, arrest those who are perpetuating it. You see on your screens at the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority, where some youth also they stormed the place, wanting to sack those who work there, believing that now that their party is in power, they too have the right to work there. Well, maybe you indeed have the right to work there, but go through the appropriate channels. Apply for work and go for interview and be qualified and go and work there. You do not go and work somewhere by besieging the premises, locking up premises, sacking workers from the premises, in which this does not signify a civilized society. In no civilized society does anything like this happen. It belittles the democracy and the peace that we are enjoying as a nation. This has happening in various places. At the NIA office in Koforidua, Ports and Harbour Authority, various organizations, even toilet facilities that persons are working at. Some people have besieged the places, sacking those who are working there. This is not the way to go. The leader of the NDC, the president of the land, says that it is unfortunate. It is unfortunate that something like this will happen and that they should stand down. I will say indeed you should be standing down from this. And also our security services must take action. Our security services must take action. I feel this in some way, this is a blatant disregard for our security service and also for the peace of the nation. You disregard the peace of the nation so much so that you feel you can storm any government facility, any government institution, any state institution and ask people to vacate their posts. Let's watch what happened at the GAPOHA or the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority headquarters.
Hey, see you. fa JDM ompe gidigidi ti eba ha wasumdwe mu na sumdwe de ba ni na ne say most of the time almost any MP ewo Tema West ha say NDC nti indenya me adom ye vice president oh your pa ya sanso nya MP Lower James Enu ejumadin ye executives ye nama ye from ghetto to ghetto door to door ya pray for 8 years ya tinefie ye mba ye nuanom anya ejuma nya omu to kwanye to so mutu nti se ne ejina ha mba ye jina ye ha ewe ni bro so ye nya bi JDM ye nya bro ye slow ma ye so me ejuma ni bi yes, you may do money. Every before you say, someone calls school, put me a juma. Oh, to me, more, extra, they are quite to me, you'll be on him, share, but yeah, and it's time for us. Yes, I do money day year. Send your 8 years ago. MPP boss, your family, your man, or we have Jumano. Your person, Dr. Dramani Mahama, to who you are. Yes, we are campaign amount. Sama ya bread. Ya mo bi yesi ampo ama ya dwuma anya ya be sere. Yes, so you so my name nwase. Yes, so ye nyanum titifie. Ye na ya campaign obi a bread. Ye ba e de e ya sum de adwumenti ne nam etitie yesu frɛ. Ye da se. Organizer. No West. Woman organizer. Rose Mensa, woman organizer, Tema West. Your friend in a Fisa,
1 minute.
Me or Tama West Railways Ward. Yeah, your can't say. Don't go focus. Yeah, don't go. Yeah, Pamucho. Yeah, you. Yanibo bi wo hono mu a yes so a na yetunu mu wuja ye jam kwalama ye ejuma ni hono mu ya campaign ma ye papa JM any lawyer enu enti yesra ye papa JM any lawyer enu any ye mami Jane se omi boye yanu mu zongo fu no any yanu mu agunafu nkitu ye kunu mu ewu eja ye omu hu ye mabo no mu page ma bi ma ne ye ne fa che nkwala no ya sem ni na ye dem
Oyezu. Yeah. I have been dispatched from the region to come and speak with you. That let's take it easy. The grievances you have listed for GPHA, they have it. It is here already. If you like, I will show them to you on my phone. I was just discussing with one of your men that I have shown him the list of the things that we are talking about. Then the grievances are taken care of. We are only waiting for a day, 2, 3, for the proper things to be done. But take note, we have taken over. Because we have taken over, there should be proper handing over. If we want to do proper investigation, then we need proper handing over. But if you don't want proper investigation, a lot of things you will not know. So let us take our time. We are already in control, and we will make sure everything is done appropriately to your satisfaction. The grievances are with him, but I have the list of grievances before you had come here. So we will take care of the situation. Ayazu, let's move to the next target.
Inside.
Inside. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. You're welcome. What kind of personal stuff, please? No. No.
No, it's like that.
It's about come
Yeah.
back home. You have been fine.
Thank you.
Take the videos and
Yes, I'm taking it, don't worry.
Switch up, jump off. Close, please. Let's go. I want to do close. Now, do the blocks and do all blocks. Blocks do again.
You don't worry, come out. Don't worry. Don't worry, come out. You don't worry, come out.
Wait, that's what they do.
Don't worry.
You break it.
Lock it. The person is there. Don't worry. The person is there. I'm going to move video. Shigwe, yeah, I'm calling you. Your term said, Chama Mobaba. Because kiss now, the woman. Who made me say, yes, I had it. As after honor. Until I do so. Yeah, I'm calling you. Let's have a. Engine anymore. Chama Mobaba. Oh, your registration is Jinko Fusita. What kind of personal stamp, please? No, not for now, but you can take it. I mean, the bag you brought this morning, along with it. That's it. No, please, you are not taking any file or any document, please. With the exception of your bag.
I can take you through them. These are my personal documents. I have a meeting this morning.
What kind of personal stamp, please? No, not for now, but you can take it. I mean, the bag you brought this morning, along with it. That's it.
So you earlier watched the video from the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority headquarters, where you saw some people storm the headquarters saying that they need to work there. And what you just watched before we came back into the studio is from the Baba Yara Sports, beg your pardon, Baba Yara Sports Stadium, where a man visibly holding a rifle went into the offices and demanded for keys. This is not how we want our nation to go. In all of the conversation, you see some, you see that they're talking about it happening in 2017, and so it's happening again in 2025. This is not how we want to continue as a nation. So we would plead with our security agencies to step in and for the parties to also call their members to order. Otherwise, this will degenerate into something that we may not be able to handle as a nation. Arrest those that have to be arrested and prosecute them. Let them face the law. That's all for our main discussion today on ABC in the Morning. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Politics Today. Well, on politics, we will be speaking with an international relay. You're welcome back. On Politics Today, we are speaking with an international relations expert. Why are we doing that? It is because we want to analyze a situation. We want to ask, what are the implications of Ghana's reception of Ibrahim Traore on international relations, especially with Western powers? Conversations have come up after President John Dramani Mahama's inauguration, and Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, sparks conversations about him, sparks some conversation and concerns when he attended the inauguration with a holstered pistol at his waist, and followed with a visit to the president's residence and all of the well wishes he got from President John Dramani Mahama. While some have really hailed his coming for the inauguration, as seen during the inauguration ceremony when he was mentioned and you saw the loud cheers he received, others have described this unusual move of him going to greet the president with a gun strapped to his holster as a breach in security protocol and an endorsement by our country of a military government. Others have also argued that this could strain Ghana's relations with international powers who are unhappy about Traore's trampling of the Burkinabe government, the democratically elected government in 2022. Relations between Ghana and Burkina Faso have been strained for a while, particularly after Ghana's former president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, accused Traore of harboring Russian mercenaries. And Traore's attendance at the inauguration was seen as a significant diplomatic gesture aimed at normalizing relations between the two countries. So on one hand, some really are not happy. On another hand, others believe that it is a good way of still maintaining some relationships, since we literally share borders with Burkina Faso. Some argue that Ghana's support is crucial in helping Burkina Faso address its deadly militant jihadist insurgency, which poses a threat to coastal West African states. However, again, some believe the reception and endorsement of this Burkinabe leader, Ibrahim Traore, could have larger ramifications for our nation. As a Ghanaian, what do you think about it? Do you have concerns about his reception here in Ghana, the way the President John Dramani Mahama seems to really appreciate him? Or are you for those who say that this is a good thing that we are receiving him? It shows that we still maintain some ties with Burkina Faso. Well, we have an international relations expert on the line joining us for this conversation, Dr. Ishmael Hlobo. Good morning, Doc, and a Happy New Year to you.
Good morning, and good morning to your listeners, and Happy New Year to all of you.
Doc, how do you see Ghana's handling of this invitation and the reception of Captain Ibrahim Traore at our president's inauguration?
Yeah, first of all, it is welcoming from my side that he was in attendance, given what has happened over the last 3 or 4 years between Ghana and Burkina Faso and the general sub-region. So in the first place, it is commendable that he attended, and like other leaders that assembled in Accra to witness the inauguration, it was important that we reach out to him and he accepted to come. Within that perspective, we also have to understand the number of issues that you have when he was coming. I've heard comment of he wearing arms and all those ones. We must understand that this is somebody who has never traveled outside the Sahel. His major travels outside Burkina Faso has been to the other coup nations of Niger, Mali, and the likes, and then to Russia, where his greatest ally is. So this is the first time he's traveling outside that comfort zone, and for us to be able to convince him to come, regardless of the fact that we have to take some risk in the sense that guaranteeing him the right to bear his arms and all those things comes with a little bit of risk to us. But then again, you must understand within the context that Ghana risk a lot if we isolate Burkina Faso. We need to know what's going on there. We need to know, share security intelligence, and be able to help them to deal with the terrorist menace that they are having for our own security. So it doesn't help us that much to isolate them. And therefore, I think that the new attempt to bring them on board is welcoming, regardless of whatever the future holds. We need Burkina Faso as a good neighbor. We need their leader to understand that Ghana is not hostile to them. And he coming to an inauguration may also provide him with an understanding of how nice it would be to be a democratic leader. It gives our president the chance to try to influence him, if he can, to help Burkina Faso transition from a military rule to civilian rule. So those would be my preliminary observations about this one.
Okay, but let's look at other powers like the Western powers that obviously play a role in all of these international relations and in our international community. Whilst you say that this new attempt to bring them on board is welcoming, and it also signifies that as a nation we are not against them, and it also will give him a certain understanding of how good it is to transition to a democratic governance. Others have raised concerns about our international relations. Should we be more concerned about our international relations with the Western powers at this moment?
Okay, thank you. Ghana has always pursued foreign policy that seeks to be non-aligned. Non-alignment means that we will not take sides mostly in international disputes, and that we are always going to maintain an independent voice in trying to praise any side that is right and condemn when it is appropriate. Now, what that means is that the Western world, we still have very solid relations with them. And our relation with other nations within the sub-region does not necessarily influence how they see us. Now, so we trying to get our neighbors Burkina Faso to be friendly doesn't alter our relation with the Western world. It is when we begin to adopt policies at home that they will interpret as hostile to them that we may begin to have a more strained relation with them. So currently, there is no threat to Ghana's relation with the Western world. Our relation with the Western world remains solid. It is when you adopt policies that the Western world sees as hostile to them that they may begin to look at you suspicion. More importantly, you must understand that in the fragmented world that we find ourselves today, a world being more or less divided between Russia, China on the other side, and the US and the Western allies on the other side. It takes a lot of dynamic balancing to survive this world. We need both the Russian China-led side, and we also need the Western side. The best solution for Ghana is to maintain a very balanced diplomatic approach. So in as much as we are concerned about our relation with other Western powers, particularly France, which is very much against the young man in Burkina Faso, that does not prevent us from engaging in relations with Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is our immediate neighbor, and any disturbance in Burkina Faso have higher repercussion for Ghana than it will have for France. And therefore, we as a sovereign nation have to balance our relation. And I think that currently I don't see any threat to Ghana's relations simply because we are engaging a country like Burkina Faso. And that narrative comes from a particular understanding that every military leader is bad and any democratic leader is good. So if you are worried, if we are worried that we are having relations with somebody like Theory, but we are not worried that we have a relation with somebody like Ouattara. These two people are singing from the same hymn book. If Ouattara changes a constitution and then breach the terms limit, and we don't call it a coup, and this guy, because he carry arms, and you think that he's such an evil person, that is the double standard nature of some of the things that we have done in the sub-region. I recently chat on the news of Ouattara trying to go for a fourth term. Yet we don't have a problem with that. We don't have a problem with relating to Ouattara because in our mind he won an election regardless of how that election is. And there are many leaders assembled in Accra that day whose democratic credentials are quite questionable. Why are we not concerned so much about those other leaders? Why are we not talking about them? Why is it only that the person who organized a coup is the one that we are so frightened that the Western powers will react to it? Now, and more importantly, the question should be, does the young man represent the interests of the Burkinabe people? Is he doing what the Burkinabe people wish? If we have data that says that the Burkinabe people are being oppressed, they are not, then we will begin to interrogate him. But if it is only because of the interest of Western powers that we should shy away from our African brother, then I beg to differ. We need to engage him, even if we are going to help him transition. It is through constructive dialogue with him. We cannot isolate him in any way just because some Western power is unhappy, because the same Western power doesn't have any problem with a very faulty democracy that doesn't deliver for the people. Okay. So for me, where I stand is that we should not label every coup maker as that bad, because coups happen after several recession in democracy, after several backslidings in democracy. So coups are just a spectrum. I mean, from gradual erosion of freedom, leaders trying to manipulate the political process and the democratic institution that ultimately paved the way for coup. If you look at that huge reception the young man received in Accra, it should tell you something that the African young people are looking for a savior. Anybody that symbolizes hope become attracted to them.
Well, so, Dr. Hobo, so on that, I want to ask, doesn't it also send a certain signal to people that we in some way are appreciatives of coup, so much so that we will not be surprised if a coup happens in the nation? These are some concerns that have also been raised.
Good. Your question is underpinned by an understanding that coup is very, very bad. That coups should not be tolerated under any circumstances, that they will always be bad. But coups are only bad if the system you have is delivering for the people, and the people are so sure that the democracy they voted for is delivering results. But let me tell you, as far as the democracy is not delivering the result that people want, they will seek for other alternative sources of government, alternative forms of government, sorry. And so for me, it's not about endorsement of coup. It's the fact that African youth are looking for a leader that stands for their interests. And so will people continue to vote to change government without the result they need, the fundamental changes they need to their life? So what I see here is that many of the African leaders who don't want to engage him and try to find a way to help solve the Burkinabe crisis and transition those countries to democracy are actually afraid of their own regime, because they realize that political power has been given to them and they are not using those power to do what the young people wanted. And so young people all across this sub-region are in a state of despair. They need hope. They need somebody to inspire hope. And it doesn't matter if the person is democratically elected or coup. You can only ban the memory of coup from West Africa if the democracies deliver. That's the only way out. Without the democracies delivering in terms of empowering and in terms of lifting people out of poverty, the memories of coup will always haunt us, because they will always look for somebody who represent the hope and aspiration for these young people. That's why you see those. It's not like they like a military. It's not about an endorsement of coup. It's an endorsement of somebody they think is standing for the aspiration of young people of his country. And that is quite threatening to the democracies, because if you don't deliver over time, you saw the conditions under which some of the terrorism and other things will flourish. So what we should be discussing now is how do we make our democracy work so well that it translates into lifting the material well-being of our people. Without that, the ritualistic election every 4 years, the ritualistic change of government every 8 years may, at a point, the people become disenchanted with it. For those who lived through the coup era, in their memory, coup should not come again. But these young people don't have that memory. They will clamor for somebody who seems to give them an indication that he's ready to lead his country out of whatever menace they are. Okay. So I think that we should look at what happened as a wake-up call to the democracies of this region to begin to tackle the fundamental problem that they are elected to tackle.
Well, Dr. Hobo, with regards to ECOWAS, just in 2 minutes and then I'll let you go. With regards to ECOWAS, what should we be doing about Burkina Faso, about Mali and Niger moving forward? Some are suggesting that we should recall them back into the sub-region, into ECOWAS.
I have always had the view that the ECOWAS approach of zero tolerance for coup has been a non-starter. Now, if you say zero tolerance for coup, you must put in mechanisms that actually prevent the conditions that necessitate coup. If you only come around when coups happen to force people to go back to democracy, then you become a fire serviceman. Or you only come around when there's fire. And these days, even fire service, beyond that, you go and try to prevent the fire before it happens. So I think that, for me, where I stand is that we can't risk having the Sahel state outside ECOWAS. It is not something that we should risk. We have to find a way to bring them back. And that is why I believe that Mahama is in a better place, with international goodwill, with strong domestic support, to try to play that mediating role. That's why, for me, the Burkinabe president and all the other leaders he invited from those Sahel states was positive. And if you look at the camaraderie between him and the young man, I think that he could influence, to a large extent, the young man's thinking about living ECOWAS. And so he may become a bridge between them, because then he was not there before all this happened. And therefore he comes into ECOWAS with a new, with that at least goodwill among those Sahel states. He could exploit it to leverage over them to try to bring them back to ECOWAS. It is not in ECOWAS' interest for this Sahel state to be outside ECOWAS. Okay, because in terms of security, it will not help. In terms of economic integration, it will not help. So we need them back in ECOWAS. And if they will ever transition to democracy, it is ECOWAS that will make it happen. Because on their own, over time, they even him that the Burkinabe people are seeing today as the savior, over time, power will have its way with him and will begin to do things that the same people will not like. So it is ECOWAS that have that mandate, try to bring them on board, drop the whole idea of a return to civilian rule today, and try to engage them and see, one, what is the fundamental problem Burkina Faso had that necessitated a coup? It is about terrorism. How do you help them? And it is a failure on the part of ECOWAS itself, a failure on the part of all of us, particularly the coastal states, that when this Sahel issue started, we regarded it as a Sahel problem, and we didn't mind until it was getting close to us before we were taking action. So it's a collective issue. It's an issue that we all have to deal with. So we can't risk these nations staying on their own. And given the fragmented nature of the global geopolitics, they are prone to it. They are prone to heavy external influences. And in as much as we want to shield them from that influence, we ourselves must extricate ECOWAS must extricate itself from the influences of the likes of France and others, so that they will be able to be seen as a neutral African bloc that is pursuing goals that are in the interest of Africans. Apart from that, I think that the ECOWAS democracy thing has been a monumental failure.
Okay. We are grateful for your time, Dr. Ishmael Honvo.
Thank you. We
look forward to more conversations with you as we move on. Dr. Ishmael Honvo is an international relations expert. He says that it is in the interest of ECOWAS that the Sahel states return to the ECOWAS body. And if these states will also transition back to democratic rule, it lies with ECOWAS. So ECOWAS should pay attention to that and also rid itself of some influences by some Western bodies such as France. That is all for our politics today. Let's take a break. We'll be back with Ghana Speaks. We want to hear your voice. We'll put the numbers on your screen, 0539161609. Call us and give us your opinion on the topic I will be sharing with you after the break.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there has been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
You're welcome back. Still watching ABC in the morning. On Ghana Speaks, we want to hear your voice because it is your voice alone that matters. Call us on the number on your screen, 0539161609. 0539161609. The question we are asking you is this forceful takeover after the transition by alleged NDC followers. What do you make of it? Have you experienced it wherever you are? We've seen videos of some alleged NDC supporters and followers besieging toilet facilities, sacking those who already have been employed there, and other states, institutions and all. Wherever you are, have you been affected by it? Have you seen it happen? Call us and share your thoughts on these takeovers that continue to happen. We just spoke about it and how we need to bring them to book. But share your thoughts with us. You are the Ghanaian. It is your voice that matters. Your voice we want to hear. Call us. The number is on your screen, 0539161609. When you call us, please turn down the volume of your TV so that we can hear you. Please turn down the volume of your TV so that we can hear you. Share your thoughts with us about this forceful takeover of states, institutions, states, offices by alleged NDC followers or supporters after the transition we've had. Call us. We want to hear your voice. If you have been affected in any way, to share with us, we want to hear. Share with us your thoughts and we'll be glad to hear from you. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Hassan, calling from Daboya in the North Gonja district.
Right, Hassan. Thank you for calling. Share your thoughts with us on this topic.
Please, we are all Ghanaians, and then if someone is appointed to a position, he or she has a tenure that he has to work at that position. So if you go on this kind of hooliganism to take over state property, I don't think the NDC will be in power for life. It will get to a time the other party will also come. Should they do the same thing? These are the questions we need to ask ourselves. And another question is that those who went to those offices, are they even having the qualification to work there? If you are having the qualification, is that the right procedure for you to be a worker at those institutions? So please, I want to beg each and everyone. Yes, NDC has one power. And then you have overwhelming majority in parliament, and then the gap you even give Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is huge. But it doesn't warrant you to go and then be sacking people in their rightful offices. Wait, the government can create opportunities for you people. At least, the president has started sacking the DCs. You can go and lobby to be appointed as a DC if you have the qualification. By doing all this will not help us. All so, in my conclusion, I want to greet my boss, the General Secretary of Savannah Region, Mohamed Isa, and then my Deputy Youth Organizer for the Boya constituency, and then each and everyone from the NPP fraternity. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling us. You can also call us on the number on your screen, 0539161609, 0539161609. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, we have lost the caller. Please. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, good morning. I am from Suburb. I'm calling from Suburb.
Okay,
hello.
What's your name, sir?
I am calling from Suburb.
Okay, and what's your name?
My name is Benjamin.
Okay, Benjamin, have your say on this.
Yeah, I'm to contribute about what we are just discussing. Sometimes what you are discussing, and then I want to talk about what this gentleman just, or the gentleman who are just spoken.
Can you share your thoughts with us? Forceful takeovers
Yes.
after the transition. What do you
what I
think
want
about
to say,
it?
Yes, what I want to say is that what the man is saying, it's not the only NDC people who are doing that.
All right.
It's not NDC people who are doing that. They should check very well. The police or the security should investigate into those things that they are doing. You see, some parties or the losing government, sometimes they also try to do something to spoil the name of the current government. So I am thinking that maybe if the police or the security men will investigate into this kind of attitude, it will help our country.
All right.
Or our nation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling us and sharing your thoughts. You can also call us. Maybe we'll take some 3 calls before we end. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning, madam.
Yes.
I'm calling from Dodua.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Ibrahim Alasan, but I like to speak P.
Okay, go ahead. Alasan, yes, you.
Good morning, madam. Hello, madam.
Alasan, yes, you on kapa anti kasa yetio.
Me da say, me the station meet you no. Me tiemo pa there. In fact, mwa o my strong pi almost to tiem neme ye. Utwa we are Ghanaian.
Okay, we seem to have lost Al Hassan. When you call, please turn down the volume of your TV so that you can hear us and we can also hear you. What happens when you don't turn down the volume of your TV is that you are tempted to want to listen for yourself and to listen to yourself, and then there is a delay. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Stephen, calling from Adam.
Okay, have your say.
Yes, I can see everything in Ghana is being politicized. When there is crime, we should enforce it. We shouldn't allow that to happen. Whether it is coming from MPP or NDC, the law must take its course. Because if this is not, if this is put stop to it, it will bring a very bad precedent in future. Because anytime MPP will be coming to power, the same thing will happen. I am also a victim to this. I was driving one of the drip tipper trucks. After the election, they have to block us from going to work. Meanwhile, we have started so many work to do, but they have blocked us as at now we are in the house. You see, these things are not good for the country. We have to move forward as a country. So whether they are MPP or NDC, they should deal with them according to the law.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling. We are grateful for your call. You can also call us. Let's take a few more calls and we'll be done. 0539161609. The forceful takeover by some alleged NDC followers. What do you think about it? Have you been affected by it? You can share with us. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from, sir?
Emmanuel, calling from Kwashiman.
All right. Please have your say. Okay, we have lost the caller. Anytime you call, please turn down the volume of your TV or even turn it off so that you can hear us well. Good morning, your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, madam. Didi Fati.
Okay, Auntie Fati. Pacho Free here.
Me Pacho Free Ashaima.
Okay, Pacho Kasani Etio.
Pacho Masam said, You're more yen enka hoda. A yeda aban beko aban beba. Ni omu yen sa omu yen mema ana omu ko military cap enko je mbozo se omu ko pay adwuma. Omu yen mema na ma omu ko military cap ana so police ana immigration ko ka so omu ko je adwuma ye. Omu ko isi je na ebe mama kupo no mahu ade ape ho. Omu yen mema na omu ko isi ji na ko ho na omu fupo na omu so kebu mu a na asoke omu no mahu se adwuma je no enafom. Meanwhile no qualification no ho. Enso who yiru hu se upe edwuma abraya appoint wo ba bia eni hwe aya butre edwuma plan with qualification e yede call na mo so kikiki me kope edwuma abra wuti wo so class 1 kra wundu wo ento omunya butre se konkon na wo be nya edwuma ko tu form na nya na se education do for application ko who qualify and ya fa eye senior mudi patapani de ahode ni sika di nkrofo eti enye fe Eda baby so beba onu so beya sani akasa na onu so ni suba yenye ni enjai na sunta te masama me wa meka no me da ase.
Yes, yeah, that's Auntie Fati. Auntie Fati says that this is not the way to go. This really is not the way to go. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Abubakar Mahmoud. I'm calling from Joma.
Okay. Abubakar, let's hear you.
Me pacho pese nkachi.
Koso nakachi yetio.
Me pacho ya party for no NDC for no. Omo wana kure. But omo mayam fa kwan papa. E wiasi nyina abaji yadi. Nipa no omo ni se omodifo nti obi a bi to bra obayi afro ya yampa mo kro mbayi afro so nti ya omonya butre why mo ye no mo san say ye government din so that's it no.
Okay, yeah, that's our friend. He's also saying that everybody should exercise patience. This is not the way to go. Let's pick our last call and then we will be done. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Yao Jokwe. Hello.
Hello, can you please move away from the noise so that
Okay.
our viewers can hear you?
Okay. My name is Emmanuel Yao Jokwe.
Okay.
I'm calling from Awoshi.
Okay. Yao, let's hear you.
Please, can I speak to you?
Please go ahead.
Okay. But there is, to me, me and this, but there is, and say abutre, the job is abutre. The omudi edikatase yewe ediji amafo man enye fine say omun fam na kwanso because MPP phones ma be the same thing. Tama MPP eba power no omuso be ye bi sa pamo and this phone go forward but we know say mun fa mra so mun fa munya so munya butre government kasa betma accurate man I am opia nti so jomu ye no so munya butre na mun fa mra kwanso.
Okay, Yao says that they should exercise restraint in what they are doing. Well, my production team gives me the opportunity to pick another call, so I will pick that. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Can you please speak up so we can all hear you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Joy. I'm calling from Takoradi, but I would like to speak to you.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, you see, NDC for but the company say before you know I in year 2 but someone and this will be off for my almost about me the same thing and this time no I here about your my until when say media don't come what when this friend before you I almost into the year 2
okay.
I want you to hear 2 on this year 2 months. So many of trainer. I might not church my fighting a dimension.
All right. Yeah, that's it. He says that what the NPP did that caused them to lose power, if the NDC does the same thing, then you might as well also lose power because then you are perpetrating the same things you spoke against. And so please restrain yourselves from all of these. But that's all for Ghana Speaks. Thank you for calling us. Viewers, we are most grateful that you called. And that's all for ABC in the Morning today. Today's Friday. We hope that you take it easy during the weekend. Rest, have fun, go for a wedding, go for a party. If your friend is mourning, do well to mourn with them, be with them, and console them in this hard period. But take it easy over the weekend so that you come back on Monday refreshed. We hope that the weekend is a great one for you. But thank you for joining us the whole of this week on ABC in the Morning. We couldn't have done this without you. All of you are viewers. Thank you so much for joining us on TV, joining us via socials. We are so grateful to you. And all to our guests whom we spoke with. We are most grateful to you for giving us an ear to listen to us and also sharing all of your expert insights with us. We are most grateful to our technical team, our production team for putting together this beautiful production. Thank you so much. Like I tell you always, we are streaming on our YouTube. So please subscribe to our channel so that anytime we are live, you also know that we are live. For more news, visit our website, www.abcnewsgh.com. And to interact with us, please visit our socials at abcnewsgh_. If you have any birthday wish, send it there and we'll be glad to wish your friends a happy birthday for you. So on that note, all of you celebrating your birthday over the weekend and in this month, a happy birthday to you. If you want to advertise anything on our TV, please call us on the number 0539161609 or get into our DMs on social media and we'll be glad to give you a place on our channel. Thank you so much. I am Abena Mante. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.